Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of PreMarket PulseScan with yours truly, Dex, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com. First and foremost, my bad. Couldn't do the end of day report last night. Was having some technical difficulties, and I didn't want to come up with something whack when you couldn't barely hear me or see me or whatever. So, you know what? I said, forget it. I'll just have to do y'all a solid in the morning. So, if I do forget, you can remind me, all right, at some point in this broadcast to hit the charts for you, okay? So, basically, we made history yesterday. History. It was the biggest point drop in history in the markets. So the US stock index futures had the biggest point drop in history, and the bond futures had the biggest point rally in history. And the US dollar also made history with its biggest drop in its history. And oil also made history yesterday with the biggest drop, the biggest point drop in its history. Now, you guys remember, I've told you throughout the years, I reminded people that crude oil was the most gangster market in the world. I also reminded those who probably forgot, and maybe it was new to some people, that I remember getting caught on the wrong side of a $10 move in crude oil once. It really hurt. It hurt, man. It hurt. But if you trade long enough, you will get caught in fast markets. You will get caught in a lock limit move, whether it be up or down. I've had my share of those too, when you're in a lock limit and you can't get out of the market. So you trade long enough, you're going to be involved in some of those situations. Now, on the flip side, I have been involved in lock limit moves where I am on the right side of the market, and that feels extraordinarily well. Yesterday, though, was one of those untradeable days. It was untradeable unless you came into yesterday already short some of the, something in the stock indexes. Then it was a beautiful day for you, and hopefully some of you were smart enough to take profit. If you came into yesterday long some bonds, hopefully you had this foresight and the wisdom after listening to me to take some profits. However, for the majority of us who are on the sidelines just watching, get ready because it's almost time. It's almost time to go, you guys. And so on this show this morning, I am making an announcement here that I am leaving. I'm leaving, you guys. I'm out of here. I know that's coming to a shock to some of you. I didn't even get a chance to tell Frank. I didn't get a chance to tell any of you guys, but I am leaving. I'm leaving for good. I'm out of here. As a matter of fact, I will be leaving by helicopter because my good friend, President Donald Trump, has successfully made the Federal Reserve and central banks backstop the global economy once again and save the markets. He's sending me a helicopter to pick me up. And you guys, if you see me, wave to me. On the side of the helicopter, it's going to say helicopter money. I'll have a picture of the Fed chairman throwing money out of the plane. Out of the copter. Okay. So just wave to me when you see me. Yeah, I'm going bye-bye. I'm getting on the helicopter money that's about to fall out of the sky, and I'm going to ride it all the way to the new bull market that is coming. Yes, you've heard it here first. Prepare for the new bull market. This is a redo. What has happened, or how I like to say, what happened is the White House has been successful in twisting the arm out of the socket of the Federal Reserve. And I think it's very funny because technically speaking, there's never been a time when the Federal Reserve has not been backstopping the market. We have seen stimulus after stimulus for the past 20 years. Let me say that again. We have seen stimulus after stimulus every year for the past 20 years. Fathom that for a moment. Let it sink in deep into your psyche. We have seen nothing but stimulus every year for the past 20 years. Whether it been ZERP or TARP or interest rate chicanery and magic tricks, whether it's been the Fed buying all the U.S. Treasury bonds during the auction. In some form or fashion, there has been nonstop stimulus. Remember, the auto industry was in jeopardy of imploding, and we were going to be basically having no U.S. auto manufacturers ever. So Obama was like, hey, bring in your old car and basically we'll buy you a new one. Remember that? People have short memories. They forget about these things. So we've seen all types of stimulus. It's nonstop stimulus. Now, let's be honest. The patient has been in the hospital for 20 years, all right, in ICU for 20 years. No, the patient is not in a coma. The patient is wide awake, and the patient has received non-stop morphine. Now, you and I both know the patient died a long time ago because you can't keep a person on you can't sustain life on a morphine drip, all right? But that's basically what's been happening. The patient has been on life support for 20 years and hooked up to a morphine drip. So the patient overdosed a long time ago. And this is what you're seeing. This is the result of that. The patient has flatlined, but we're pretending that the patient is still alive. Okay? Patient died by overdose. So where does that leave us? Well, like I said, I'm out of here. I'm getting on the helicopter. I want some of that shmoney, that helicopter shmoney. So I have to go get it. And you should go get it too. So there's plenty of room in the helicopter. All right. This is the biggest helicopter the Federal Reserve has ever manufactured. And I think you guys will be really, really, really happy if you got on the helicopter with me and flew away. Fly away to Never Never Land of ad nauseum bull market. Now, I got to tell you, this helicopter will never land. It's going to be in the air forever. We're going to be flying away forever. All right. Just don't look down if you're afraid of heights, because it's going to be so high. Not only that, but the air gets really thin up there the higher you go. So those of you who don't have the wherewithal to sustain such a flight, such a long flight, you probably don't want to get on this ride. I don't understand why you wouldn't, though. But yeah, we're going away. We're not going on a vacation. This is a staycation. A staycation aboard the helicopter. Who's with me? Who wants to go on vacation with me? Because that's what we're about to do. Now, of course, there's always pros and cons, good and bad, when you're on a staycation like this, when you're flying like this. You don't need to worry about first class seats because everyone gets a first class seat. All right. Don't ask me how we're paying for it. That's irrelevant. How we're paying for it? Why do you care how we're paying for it? We're not paying for anything. Our great grandchildren will pay for it, not us. So what do we care, right? Get on the helicopter. I'll come back to that in a moment. But first, here's some of the news headlines for us. Just a plaster on a deep wound. Stocks, oil, and bond yields rebound after Trump teases coronavirus relief. This looks like a short-term bounce on oversold levels, not a meaningful turn. Headed for permanent recession. Paul Krugman sounds the alarm after Treasury yields tumble and interest rates plunge. Markets are implicitly predicting not just a recession, but multiple years of economic weakness. Just go ahead and use the word and stop being a punk. Paul Krugman, say the D word, say depression. All right. It's okay. You can use the word. All right. It's okay. Tesla plans to expand car parts production capacity in Shanghai. Elon Musk, electric car maker, plans to add lines to make more battery packs, electric motors, and motor controllers, according to a document it submitted to the Chinese government that was seen by Reuters. Dun, dun, dun. Aon buys Wills for $30 billion in world's largest insurance deal. The acquisition combines the second and third largest brokers globally, creating a company worth almost $80 billion. And we claim we don't like monopolies or cartels, but yet we keep letting these roll-ups happen. Blackstone is in talks to take developer Soho China private in a $4 billion deal. The U.S. private equity titan began exclusive decisions with the major office developer in early February, two sources told Reuters. U.S. sanctions have idled a quarter of Iranian oil rigs. Sanctions have choked the country's key oil industry, according to a Reuters review of financial documents and industry sources. Snap's second ever partner summit will now be online only, as major tech events are postponed and canceled over coronavirus fears. At least at its last summit, the social media giant revealed new features such as letting users share their stories on third-party apps. Stocks rallied after Monday's brutal sell-off. In Europe, Germany's DAX rose 1.5%, Britain's FTSE rose 2.1%, and the Euro Stoxx 50 rose 1.4%. In Asia, China's Shanghai Composite rose 1.8%, South Korea Kospi rose 0.4%, Japan's Nikkei rose 0.9%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng rose 1.4%. U.S. stocks are set to open higher. Futures underlining the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ climbed between 2.6 and 2.9%. Key European earnings are out. Deutsche Post and Informa are two of the highlights. Economic data is due. Figures for U.S. business optimism will be closely watched, along with the President of the United States, of course, giving out his thing. All right, so that is just some of the overnight news that we can use. But now it's time to look at the markets. All right, so if you walk over here with me, we're going to look at these overnight markets. All right, so it should be noted, first and foremost, that the Dow and some of these others, I think they hit circuit breakers again last night on the rally side, though, and they have since pulled back. So this is going to be interesting. So right now, the Dow is up 804 points at 24,670. It did make it all the way up to 25,001. So 25,001, and then it reversed. All right, so the overnight low is 23,424. These 1,000-point moves up and down are just becoming ridiculous. NASDAQ 100 is up 286 points and a quarter. I'm make that 288 3/4 now at 8236. And we got the S&P 500 up 94 points at 2841. We got the Russell up 38.5 points at 1352.80. We got the Bitcoin up now $305 on the Bitcoin futures composite. The nat gas is up 6 cents at 184. Crude oil is up $2.55 at $33.70 a barrel. It should be noted that it did drop all the way down to $30.17 a barrel, and it rallied up to $34.60 a barrel. The volatility is real, folks. Bonds right now are down 2 full points in 17/30 at 183.02. Gold right now is down $14.10 as it's trading at $1,661.60 an ounce. It made its way down to $1,649.40 an ounce. It should be noted that yesterday at some point, gold futures were stuck at $1,666.60. You had your 666 going for quite some time yesterday. In the overnight market, of course. Silver right now is trading flat. It is at $17.04 an ounce. It did make its way down to $16.81 in the overnight, and we are off the highs of $17.20 an ounce. US dollar index right now is up 84 pips at 95.74. And let's see, the euro yen is still having massive moves, up over 2 points. Right now it's up 1,571 pips, or 157 pips, if you want to look at it that way. The euro is down 85 pips at 113.81. Pound sterling is down 84 at 130.30. And the Aussie is down 43 pips at 65.58. Beans are now up 8.5 at 878.5, and corn is up 3 3/4 at 376.5. It should be noted that our Corona stocks right now, let's take a look at how they are doing. As it looks in the overnight, Clorox now is up about $2 from yesterday's close. Colgate is up about $2 from yesterday's close. American Airlines looks like it's up about $1 from yesterday's close. MTA right now looks like it may makes the gap is too wide. Your bid is 411 and your ask is 528. All right, Zynga right now looks like it's up in the pre-market. It's up about maybe close to 30 cents. All right, you got INO right now looks like it's going to open down today. It's going to be open down by quite a lot. Looks like about 70 cents, something like that. All right, let's see. APT right now is going to open up down as close, almost $1 down in pre-market. All right, and those of you who are long volatility, your UVX right now is down significantly. It's down about $7, while your SVXY is up about $2. Your TVIX is going to open down about $50. I'm sorry, make that 52, between 50 to $52 down. So if you didn't take profit in the TVIX, I don't know what to tell you on that one. I don't know what to tell you. Your SQQQ is going to open down $3 right now. Let's see. Your DGAS right now is going to open down almost $10. Your DWT is going to open down $5. Yeah, it's not looking so purty. That's why you gotta. I always say, what do I always say? Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to what? Take what you can, and what? Give nothing back. Do not turn winning trades into losing trades. What's wrong with you? All right. Now, as I promised, it's time to look at some charts. All right, so I was not able to do the end of day report yesterday, so I'm going to do it now with you. All right, so let's take a look at a few charts. Rather late than never, right? All right, so the first one we got here is Bitcoin. So as you can see, the Bitcoin right here, we had that primary crash alert, secondary crash alert, and then here we are down here with the pointer, and it is just falling off of a cliff. You're well below the trend line resistance, and you're down below the Kumo cloud, and you're just in a powerful bear market at this time. I am so sorry to have to tell you that, but the market is not doing very well. I was hoping that it was ready to get up there and boogie, but you know, it's just it's doing its own thing. We'll have to keep a close eye on it, but if you're short, you got to put those stops in and take profit along the way and be ready for the rip-roaring reversals when and if it does decide to come. Right now, though, I'm thinking the first initial target for this move is going to be between, I want to say, about 6,800. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, around 6,800-ish. Okay, that is the initial target for the down move in Bitcoin. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to have to tell you that. If you're long, you're wrong. How about that? If you're long Bitcoin, you're wrong. Should have been out. All right. NASDAQ 100 futures coming off of this primary crash alert right hither. And this thing has fallen off of a cliff as well. You can see the momentum has been building downward, trying to start a new bearish run, meaning a new leg down. Can Trump stop this? Can he stop this parabolic, unrelenting move? We shall see. Look how elongated these bars are. They're insane. How do you trade 1,000-point swing every day? That's a day trader thing, but because we live in robotic times with algo markets, this becomes impossible unless you're chained to your desk and looking at 5-minute and 1-minute and tick charts, and that's for the birds, man. It's not how I get down. So this is looking whack. Let's move on over to the Litecoin. And we just had the opening bell on Wall Street too, by the way. All right, so here's Litecoin, same thing. It's following the path of Bitcoin. It's below the trend line support, and it's on its way to 35. Initial target, 35-ish for Litecoin. I'm so sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news this morning, but that is the initial target on Litecoin, unless something happens to stop it and we are starting to accelerate in the negative energy. The negative weekly trend momentum reading is getting more bearish. Someone needs to stop the train. Our Illuminati index had gap down. Look at this gap down, just craziness. But we got a bullish pointer from yesterday. So therefore, I believe that the technical bounce could come today if Trump is able and successful to move these markets with his stimulus plan. We shall see. We also got a gap way back up here. It will be nice to see the market spring back to life, but this is getting worse. All right, this weekly trend momentum is not looking sharp. Looking at your gold miners, all right, this is where we are right now. Also, now this is unique. I got to break this down for you. We're coming off of this primary crash alert that I gave you guys, and you see here that we're off of the bullish weekly trend momentum, and right now we're technically flat. We have no momentum. We don't have any bearish momentum. We don't have any bullish momentum. We are technically flat in the gold miners, the GDXJ right now. All right, looks like the market's trying to build some sort of a support here and consolidate below the Kumo cloud. So this one's definitely a watch to see what it's going to do after the huge trading range. So we'll have to watch this one for sure for clues. Taking a look now at the Dow futures, as you can see. This one is looking crazy and threatening to drop below 20,000. All things being equal, if this momentum keeps up, we're looking at foolishness coming into these markets. All right. Oh, all right. Someone's quoting me here. I like it. Last year, Dex said 1,000-point moves would be occurring. See, when I prophesy these things to you, when I prophesy, when I get the crystal ball out and I say stuff, I forget a lot of times what I say. But that's why the videos are here, right? You can remind me. And then you guys, my listeners, my intelligent listeners with great memories, can help me remember the things that I've said. All right, so, and you're right. And it's looking bad here. It's looking bad. Can Trump stop it? We got the beginning cycle, the beginning stages of a bearish weekly trend momentum coming into play. If this gets cooking, then we could see another leg down like this one. All right, this is the next leg down from yesterday's low. All right, let me repeat this. This is the next leg we're putting in if he can't stop this train. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You understand? Are you starting to understand now? Do you know how steep this is? Do you understand this leg? This leg of lamb? This is a delicious leg of lamb to the shorting wolves, and they cannot wait for this to happen. Do you understand what this means, folks? We're talking about another 5,000-point drop coming for the Dow. It is not by accident that the president made the announcement last night that he was going to talk to us today. They have algo charts too, of a different kind, of course. But the initial target for the next leg down, you haven't seen it yet, is 5,000 points, folks. You don't need to be a chartist to see this. This would put the Dow well below 20,000. 20,000. That's a 10,000 point drop. Now you guys have heard me say, okay, now I know I had to put the voice inflection into this for dramatic effect, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying here, right? You do get it. This market can sustain another 10,000 point drop and still be in a bull market when you look at the mega macro charts. Still a bull market. You have 20 years of stimulus. What did I teach you? It takes about 18 months for stimulus to really kick into the economy, into the market. And we've been doing it for the past 20 years. The bull is not dead. The bull has at least another 30 years of rallying left in it. I'm serious. You guys think I'm playing? I'm not playing. Mark my words. We're about to witness the most incredible comeback in history. All right. This is the NBA championship, and the Dow is down 3-0. All right. But you're about to see a tremendous comeback here. All right. This fourth game is gonna be a game changer because it's going to rally and it's going to make all of this right here a distant memory. And we'll say, where were you when this happened? What were you doing? Grandma, granddaddy, what were you doing when this happened? This is what's happening. All right. Now, let's go to our next one. Here's silver. Silver's a different story. But let me pause for a second. I got a question. Let's see. What is it? Do you think oil can have a massive rebound, like back to 70 in a week? It can, but I don't think it's going to. Oil right now, unfortunately, has been kidnapped. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to help me after this broadcast, I'm putting up flyers in my neighborhood. I'm asking, has anyone seen oil or has been missing? Oil was last seen playing at the playground on the swings, and someone says they saw a man in a trench coat come and snatch oil up and put him in the back of a white van, an unmarked van. They drove off somewhere. I don't know where oil is. Has anyone? If anyone has seen oil, please call my oil hotline. All right. Oil has been missing. Someone snatched oil up. Oil was last seen wearing a Russian T-shirt and a Saudi Arabian pair of blue jeans. And right now, I just I don't know if I'm ever gonna see oil again. That's what's going on right now. Oil is being used as a pawn in a political game between warring factions. OPEC said we're going to do one thing. Saudi Arabia said, nah, we're going to do another. Basically, what you're seeing here is a power shift, a power struggle, where OPEC is losing its power. OPEC is in a war with Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia said, oh, you don't understand what just happened? You don't understand? You don't understand when the Saudi Aramco deal came into play, what we were doing? You don't know that we are OPEC now? Saudi Arabia is OPEC, backed by the U.S. government and Israel. Israel. All right? That is just what happened. OPEC is dead. As a matter of fact, that's a whole nother topic, whole nother conversation. Who shot OPEC? All right. So we're running an investigation on that too. The masked gunman was seen leaving the OPEC meeting in a hurry. He drove off in an old 1970 Pinto. Smoke was seen coming from the tailpipe. We don't think he got too far in a Pinto, but that's what we saw. That's what witnesses say they claim they saw. The masked gunman who shot OPEC. So OPEC is in the hospital right now in stable condition. But it's touch and go right now. It's touch and go, even though he's in stable condition. It's touch and go right now. Okay. All right. So I tried to tell you guys. You see, when I say stuff, when I go there, it's usually so well in advance that people have a hard time remembering what I say, like I do. But I did warn everyone what was coming. I told you what was happening. So you always have to look at the end of the day. You got to learn to follow the money, man. Follow the money and then ask yourself who benefits. Now, it has flown under the radar by most people because the media really didn't hone in. They reported on it, but they didn't explain it to the public. So the public has no knowledge of what has just transpired. What has transpired is this Saudi Aramco, the IPO, was the largest IPO in history. And it's not that it's just an IPO, but it's the big. They wanted to do away with OPEC. They just couldn't go in the OPEC meeting with guns blazing and take out all the OPEC members and shoot everybody in the head and then say, well, an autopsy has just revealed that the members of OPEC, they did not die of bullet wounds to the forehead. As a matter of fact, our autopsy report reveals that this was a suicide. The OPEC members have all committed suicide, and that is what we rule it as. But, sir, I have a question. Yes, Robert from the Washington Post. What do you have to say? Yes, sir, isn't it true that these bullet holes could not have been self-inflicted when we look at the trajectory and the angle of the bullets hitting the cranium? hitting the frontal lobe when it penetrated the frontal lobe? Isn't it true that this is from a trajectory that could not have been self-inflicted? Okay, Robert, that's a very good question, Robert. Our autopsy team here, led by Dr. Lyer, who is a wonderful, wonderful physician. He's been doing this for the last 400 years. Technically speaking, he is older than Yoda, and he's been doing surgeries like this since before Yoda was born. So if he says that this was a suicide and that the bullet wounds was not the cause of death, then that's exactly what it is. It's a suicide. But sir, yes, Sally from the New York Times, yes. Sir, isn't it true that not only did we see bullet wounds, but isn't it also true that a gunman was seen fleeing the scene in a Pinto? That has not been confirmed. I just do autopsies, and I can tell you that the Pinto exhaust was not the cause of death either, if there was a Pinto. That's all we have time for. No more questions, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're dealing with, folks. That's the world we live in. That is the world we live in. Straight up. All right? I pause for dramatic effect. But that's the world we live in. All right? Do I think this oil will ever bounce back? It's a good question, man. I'm gonna have to say yes, because this is not the first time that oil has been used as a weapon against a political opponent. Remember, oil was used as a weapon against a Republican opponent back when Obama was running for office. They used the oil. So for this time, instead of suppressing the oil price, they made sure it rallied to the moon. Because then you can say, look, this is happening under your watch. If I was in office, this would not happen. And as soon as it was, the rest of the story, the oil price went right back down again. All right. So oil prices are going to rise at some point, because at the end of the day, again, who benefits? See, when the right powers are in place in office, then they're going to do the things that's best for them and their party, which is money. They want to make their party rich. So this is what you're going to see next. Are you ready for this? I'm going to show you. Let's move on to the next chart. Now, this silver here, I'm going back to the silver. Silver is not acting right. Silver is acting like some type of, commodity instead of a currency. We know silver has a lot of commercial usage, so it at times is going to behave like a commodity, but then it also has times where it's going to benefit from a rally with gold. And right now, you're just not seeing that. This thing is getting more bearish by the day. It can't rally. But once it does rally, once it really gets its act together, silver can be the most incredible price mover you've ever seen. But that time is not now. If I can quote from one of my most famous lines of all time, the time for silver is over. Now is the age of the oil. All right, so that's what's happening right now. It's not happening, folks. I'm sorry. Here's gold, though, on the other hand. Look at the gold, how it's been pushing, and now it's starting to get up in some resistance here, which is a little concerning, because technically speaking, this should be pushing to at least 1720, 1740, based on the type of Wall Street carnage we have seen. And instead, you're not seeing gold act like a currency. Yeah, this is an upward move. Yeah, we got the primary rally alert right here. Yeah, the market moved. Yeah, we got the secondary rally alert. Yeah, the market broke out more. But it's not moving like it should be. If this thing were moving the correct way, it should be at least probably around 18 and 1900 right now. And I'm just keeping it 100 with you. All right. This is what's happening. It's not. This is still suppression. This is suppression. Price suppression. Say it with me. Price suppression. When I say price, you say suppression. Price suppression. Price suppression. That's what's happening. I don't care what they say or how they spin it. This is price suppression. They're not letting this thing run. Sell programs are coming in and making sure that this thing don't get out of hand. And that's what's happening right now. Now, here's the Treasury bill. Here's the TLT ticker, the bonds. Look at the explosive nature of this thing. Look at the on the back of this secondary rally alert back here. Look how the market has just ran. Look at the little teeny little. Look at this. Look at this. You have like no trading range. You got like what, a penny trading range a day? Look, going on forever. This thing barely even moves. All right, no trading range, no opportunity, boring market. But yet it just wakes up and look at these ranges. Look at these bars. All right, it's just trying to go to the moon. I think 200 is in sight, to be honest with you. The way, all things being equal, it is absolutely insane and absolutely ridiculous. But it doesn't mean it's going to stop, folks. Especially when you got the Fed in here doing all the buying. Just saying. Now, yeah, we got some gaps we need to talk about here. We got some gaps that need to be dealt with, folks. We got gaps, especially this big monster right here. At some point, we got to come down and deal with this if this market is going to, maintain a longer-term bullish outlook. Here's crude oil that you asked me about. All right. So the primary crash alert came right here. And we've been getting nothing but crash alerts ever since. Now, we did get this primary rally alert saying that this initial thrust down was overdone and ready to bounce. It bounced. Excuse me. Then we got the primary crash alert again, followed by a secondary crash alert. Boom. Then we got this alert here, primary alerts, and we're ready to go up now and correct again. What did the bears do? They saw it as an opportunity, come back down, beat the market back down again, and then you see this drastic leg hither. Where are we going? We could fall a lot further, to be honest with you. But this gap does need to be contended with before I think we do another drop. So let's fill the gap. Let's get to about 37, fill the gap, and then come down to 25. All right. So that's kind of the way the movement is looking right now. So about 37, come back, put in 25, come back up to about 32, and then we go down to the teens. We may visit the 15 handle. Yep. Now that's not a big, that's not huge. It's like, oh my goodness, what are you saying? It's nothing. Remember the chart I showed you, man? All right, for like 20 years, we traded in a range of $15 to $30. That was it. All right, forever. It seemed like that was forever. And now look at us. All right, so we're back down here again. And are we going to stay here? Nope. The market always come here, visits, pivots, and then leaves. All right, it visits, pivots, and leaves. Say it with me: visit, pivot, and leave. All right, so let's go to yearly. If my data will cooperate with me. Come on, come on, come on. All right. So this is our yearly chart of the oil. All right. As you can see here, we've been here before. The last time we were here was December 31st, December of 2016. All right. December of 2016, we hit $26 low, $26.05. So far, we are at $27.32. So you're just testing this pointer here. All right, you took out this old pointer back here, and now you're here. All right. The last time that we were here was back here in 2003. We were in December 2003. We were at $25.17 low. All right. So 1, 2, and now possibly 3 times testing this long support. What happens if we break it? Could we go to $5? Of course we could. Remember, this is a political thing. But also remember this. See this right here? See this bar right here? This is a yearly bar. This is the year that Obama won the election in 2008. We rallied from $35.12 a barrel to $147.30 a barrel in the year of 2008. That's the kind of gangster market this can be. So you see on the yearly chart, this is where we are. Is this really a big deal? No, we've been here before. It's not a new low. It's not a new all-time low. All right? It's not a new all-time low. Now this chart is only going back to 2002. The 90s are not being represented here. If it was, you would see $15 oil. Okay? So in the 2000s, we've only been as low as $25, okay? So that is the support for the 2000s. All right, $25. Will it come back again? Of course. Of course it can. Of course it will. All right, are we still in this downtrend channel? Yep. Are we still in correction off the all-time highs? Yep. So now you have it. I'll pull up a monthly for you. Here you go. Here's your monthly. All right, same thing. Oil consolidates forever, folks. So this is the bar you're trading inside of from 2018 up into 2020. We're pretty much trading in this range. Okay? This is 2020, 2018. For 2 years straight, we traded sideways. We traded inside of the bar hither. All right? This is the trading range. See how the market respected it? Traded in it, stayed within it. See what I'm saying, folks? That's the gangsterness of the oil market. Now you see it. All right. So I had to show that to you. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight and answers your question a little bit better. I had to show you the longer term chart on that one. All right, let's wrap this up. So that's crude. All right, now here's the US dollar index. US dollar index has fallen just like the stock market. Look at this price destruction. We came up here and flirted with par like I told you we would. We went to 99.87. Just a tad shy of that par that I was telling you about. And then look at the correction, man. Look at this. Can't blame this on no coronavirus. We're not an exporter. Can't blame this on the coronavirus. We're not China. World reserve currency, right? What this look like to you? Follow the money, folks. Moving right along. You got to know what's going on here. You got to be able to follow these markets and know the stories behind the stories, because that's the only thing that's going to give you the information that you need. Okay, so I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. Here's another question. So what market is good to trade? Everything. I trade everything. I'm not limited. Primarily though, I'll tell you the truth. I come from a futures background, so I like the futures. I like the US stock index futures, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell. I love it. I also like trading gold and silver. I even trade equities. Anything that's moving, I want to trade it. That's how I get down. Anything that's going to move, I'll trade it. I also trade crude oil futures, believe it or not, the gangster market. I know it's a gangster market. Don't bite my head off. I know. But if you know how to navigate those waters, then have at it. You can trade anything that you know about. Anything you want, any market you understand, you can trade it. You just have to respect the markets at all times. Always respect the market, knowing that at any point, the market can and will take your head off if you are not careful and you don't use stops. Now, I know technically speaking, someone will say, hey, but you can use stops all you want, and your stops can get blown past, and your stops can be hunted by the banks. And yeah, Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing that makes me different than most, is because my system hunts their stops. That's what I do. So I don't have that problem. All right, moving right along. Let's see here. Let's see. Why did it go to Japan? Why did what go to Japan? The coronavirus? Heck if I know. But you want my theory? You want my conspiracy theory? I think this virus was dropped on just about everybody on the planet, every country, because you can't tell me that everybody at once decided to go and travel to Wuhan at the time that the coronavirus outbreak was happening, and then they just brought it back to their countries. Really? So everybody in all 50 states of the United States, everybody in Africa, everybody in South America, everybody in Europe, at the same time decided just to go to go to China, and then bring this stuff back with us. Really? Really? Why do they think we're so stupid? Hmm? So the gas station should be still treating you nice because of the cheapness of the oil. And it is what it is, folks. As far as forex, that's another good question. All right, next question is, what about forex? What's a good forex trade? Well, all of them, every single last one of them. I like trading the dollar yen. I like trading the euro yen, as you always hear me talk about a lot. I'll trade the Australian dollar. I'll trade anything that's moving and trending nice. You know what I'm saying? Things that trend the best is what I like to trade. So right now we have our 6-pack package that contains the Australian dollar, the euro dollar, and I can't remember what the third one was. Is it the pound sterling? Those are really good trending markets, and they're great for beginners as well as people that have experience. Those are good trending markets. So I hope that answers your question. All right. This video has been pretty long. There's a lot more things I wanted to get into. So why don't we do this? Why don't I do a live podcast a little later this morning, and then I can address some things that I didn't have a chance to go into in this video. So we're going to talk about it. Is that cool with y'all? I'll go ahead. I need to do some things, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'll put a time up too, so you guys can see it. I'll set a thing up on YouTube, and you can set your reminder to it. And we're gonna do a podcast because there's some things that need to be talked about today, and I just didn't have a chance to go into all of it today at this time. All right, here's a good question. Do you see what's trending by looking at charts? Yes and no. I use my algo charts. Whenever I do my chart segment in these videos, I'm using my algo charts. My algo charts are different than everyone else's charts, different than the standard charts that you get in your trading platform and all that stuff, because mine are algo charts. So they're going to look a little wacky and colorful and squiggly lines all over the place. But yeah, I program the charts that I use for these videos is an algo chart. It's a version of my algo charts, so that and I put stuff on there that I know most of you will be familiar with, and it helps me to explain to you what I see and know that's happening in that particular market. So yeah, you can find trends by looking at charts, but in this day and age, charts alone is not enough. It's just not enough. You have to know what's going on in any given market. You have to know what's going on with the algos. The markets are ruled by algos now. People are using machines, robots, artificial intelligence. You have to understand the concepts behind those systems. And because that's what I used to do, I worked on those systems. I got paid to develop those systems on Wall Street. That's what I did. All right. I designed systems for wealthy clients so that they could extract money from the markets on a daily basis. So that's how I know and I understand it. And then I come and I share it with you guys. So yeah, that's how we get down. That's how we roll. All right. So I will think of a time today so I can do the podcast and we can go over some stuff. There's some things we need to talk about, and I just want to get into it with you, and I just knew I wouldn't have time to do it here. So also keep an eye out for the president. I don't know when he's going to talk and address everybody, but he's supposed to be addressing the nation today at some point. So keep your eyes and ears sharp for that. And without further ado, please come over and hit that like button, man. Share the video with someone. You never know who it may help or encourage. And go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon so you can be notified of videos. Also, you want to go to PulseWaveTrading.com and register for our Friday webinar this Friday, okay? And when you open up a free account with us, we do have some giveaways for you. And if you would like to take that next step, you can do so now for a limited time only. You can come up and sign up with us and get these pulse waves, these powerful pulse wave price reports delivered to you daily for only 69 bucks. Okay, so come on over and do what you need to do. Get yourself a 6-pack and get one for a buddy too, because you know you're thirsty. And without further ado, remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace.